Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Well, we both went to school that morning, and the school dismissed early so we could attend the march. So I was downtown as well, but Larry and I, we wasn't together. So my friend who I was with, well, Larry had left and he went to my mother's house. She lived in the Fowler home. And my friend who I was with, she called home and her mother told her that the police had just shot Larry. So I went home. My dad was in the driveway. He was crying. The funeral home was there. And he said, Larry's gone. He won't be back.
Okay, so when you all, so after receiving the information that, okay, my brother has passed away, now we want justice.
After Larry's death, we do want justice. That's why I say my mother and father had filed a lawsuit against the Memphis Police Department and the officer who murdered Larry. Nothing was done because they refused to indict the police officer who murdered Larry. So I'm still trying to get justice for Larry that my mother and father didn't get, that both have passed away without justice.
Thank you.
Because I was not going to leave him. I mean, I was so worked up upstairs, I couldn't get it together. That just knocked me down. It did. It did. I wasn't expecting to walk up to see that. I wasn't expecting that, and it hurt me to the core. It did. It did. So that's why I say, I thank God I got somebody on my team. Because, man, I have did so many interviews. I mean, news, radio, you know. And, I mean, it just seemed like everybody's just sweeping Larry's up under the ground, you know. Didn't treat him right, you know. And that's why I say, I was hurt today. I was really already grieving. Yeah. So when I walked up and I saw that, That was unacceptable. I wasn't gonna leave here with it like that. I couldn't do
this is
it.
part of a bigger picture of feeling that he's already been forgotten, and then walking up and seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he have been forgotten by
To us, we
Memphis,
seem
Tennessee.
like yes, he has.
by Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, the police, Rice Museum, they forgot about Larry. They forgot about Larry, but we haven't.
And I think it's important to note that it's not just the concern of being forgotten about it, but not interested in the story because he was dehumanized, and that individuals who believe or so-called advocate on behalf of the stories being told are disingenuous in their real interest in the family. So you can tell the story of the civil rights movement because it sounds good. We love talking about Martin Luther King and all these things, but it does not transfer over to justice, real justice for the real people who lost their lives and had those concerns. And so we were really able to address that and hold the museum accountable and responsive to that gross neglect and dehumanizing of the trauma of the family.
Absolutely.
So what's the result? What's happening after today?
Well, they assured us that they was going to make some changes,
About
recognize
10 or 15
Larry
minutes.
more, so
Today,
they're
we
doing
demand-
something now.
we
They're
demand-
doing something.
They're going to put
Yeah.
something up, they're going to project and tell a narrative today. We demanded that the original memorial that was there be put up, but we understand that there's some logistical things that they have to do to kind of curate it in an appropriate manner. But they acknowledge that they will make a better attempts and diligent attempts and efforts today to present it through the social media platforms, as well as make it visible for guests to be able to know today about Larry Payne. So they responded with that level of contingency, but also extended an opportunity for next week and ongoing to be part of an oral narrative history where the museum can process and interview and examine all of the family's interests and concerns and desires to humanize Larry as well as to personalize it so that in the history of, in the advocacy of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, you know that Larry Payne has a family who's crying and grieving, who had not processed their trauma, and they took the ownership of doing something about that to connect with the community, connect with the family.
Okay, so what's new is next week your family will be part of some of the activities. Okay. And so how do you all feel about those actions, and does that?
Well, I'm glad about the change, and I'm glad that it's going to be that he's going to be recognized because it's been a long time coming, and for me to come here today, take off of work and come to see, I had to just bend down and read what was up under the picture, just a little block of him, and I had this great expectation that I was coming here to see something like, more on him, just like on Martin Luther King. And I love Martin Luther King, but all this happened during that time. But why is it that we got to see something like this here? I can't even tell my friends, you can go down there to the museum. And I talked to a coworker yesterday, and we was talking about my uncle, and she was feeling sad for me, and we pulled it up on Google it, and stuff, and she was like, Ava, I almost cried reading this and stuff, and how they did your grandmama and stuff. I said, yeah. So and I went through a lot of things, with this here. Even though I was 10, it took me through a whole lot, and I wouldn't put this on George Floyd children, nobody's children. Not to let them get any kind of counseling for them, that they loved one get taken away from them because they love them. And when your family show you love, that's something that you don't forget. You don't forget that. And I had every year, and I didn't know, that I needed help, to get through this here. And even talking about it, And I just had got some help last year, but it's still, in me. Because, he got, the way he got taken away from us. And I guess this is just something that I'm gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. Because everybody that's younger and under me, they didn't get that chance to be with him like I did.
And you mentioned some of the things of like he loved on you. Can you give an example of like when you remember of him?
Like when he come with my granddad, and my granddad would drive him over to my mom's house, and I'd be sitting out on the porch, and I would run to the car, and he would get out the car, and cause my granddad would call me, cause of my nickname, he would call me Put a Wooden, and so he would get out the car, and he was just like, "Where your mama at?" And I just, I just felt the love from him. I felt the love from him. And, a lot of people can be around, but, children and things, and if they're not showing them that love, it's just something different, It's just something different. Like the rest of my uncles and them and stuff, they passed away, but his life was taken, and that was totally different for me because I didn't get a chance to see him no more. Because I'm thinking, at me being 10, that he was a man, but I didn't know he was 16. But all I knew that, that was my uncle and I love him. And the way he got taken away, it was just devastating for me to even have to go through all this here, all these many years, all these many years. And everybody tell me that's a shame. That's a shame for you had to go through all that as a child, not getting no help. Because at the time, I guess didn't nobody know, But I could tell somebody, I could tell somebody children, I could tell somebody family, get them some help if they, get them some help because they children. They gonna miss their loved ones and they gonna carry this here with them for the rest of their life. I don't want no child to go through that, what I went through. Because it's for real, it's for real.
Thanks for sharing that.
It's for real.
And talking about kind of on the solution side of what came out of the meeting today, can y'all share how you guys think about that and what you think should be done moving forward?
I think that, I want to see how it's going to come out. I really want to see how it's going to come out. I want to come back. I want to see, so I can, be able to tell my co-workers, if they want to bring their grandchildren, and this, I can tell them, my uncles, y'all be able to see something on my uncle, not just this right here. I like my auntie said, she was ready to go. I was too. I was really ready. I walked out.
And I had to get up real close to look at it. I said, this ain't me right here.
Yeah.
It was just too small.
Yeah, that was just
what they did indicate is that the family would be a part of that process of telling that story. So it's not just based off of their interpretation. And so he's going to be personalized from his own experience at 16 years old, and being, as she indicated, a handsome young man who had a girlfriend or whatever, and he had friends. The best dresser, the best dresser,
the best
dresser.
He worked and bought his clothes. He worked and bought his clothes.
And you know what? And people older than me was telling me about him. Girl, he was a nice looking girl. He was a girl, best dresser. Girls really liked him, when he was in school. But
It's one of us, baby.
yeah.
Well loved, and he is truly missed
My Lord.
Still
every day. And
as of today, just like
our
every
hearts are
year,
still happy.
all the time.
Our hearts
Ms.
are
Kira, is there
still
something that you wanted to add about kind of how you feel about the solutions that came out of today?
I agree with you all, and I'm so glad, thank God, that y'all.
Yes, Lord.
He was good. He was nice. I seen him the same day that happened to him. I talked to him on the phone. I talked to him on the phone. We were joking around. I said, "Let me have $5." I said, "I'll pay you back." I said, "I'll pay you back." I said, "Next week."
$5 was a lot back there in them days.
He went to laughing. Look, he went to laughing at me. And then he told me, "Oh, keep that bag." But I'll be on over to the house. He came. I said, "Oh, you at home today?" "Oh, and I got to get ready for school." I loved him. He was real. He'd come up to the house and see me all the time. We sit out on the porch, talk. And my porch had steps on it. He loved to sit on that third step. He laughed and talked. And it hurt me so bad.
Yeah, I remember.
I think this allows for not only families but communities to really deal with the trauma, because we get so desensitized by the violence, but we lose sight of the injustice that continues to not be addressed. And so much of Martin Luther King's movement was around the injustice and the humanity of the dishumanity and the disinheritedness of those who are oftentimes victimized. And oftentimes people just want to be heard. And the politicians and these so-called leaders, they have a level of responsibility to make sure that the people are heard and to make that we address and deal with these levels of trauma. Because if Larry Payne's case would have been dealt with, maybe we would not have had the climate where Trayvon Martin or George Floyd, and again, there's so many nameless people who have been victims of police brutality and injustice that we do not know about. And you see the smile and the joy because Larry has been humanized. And he's been seen, so we have this lest we forget Larry Payne. That's the tension that we all should be able to have and say his name. Amen. Because we did not say his name. We don't say his name. And how dare you, as a National Civil Rights Museum, not illuminate that in the context, because the question is, do we own Martin Luther King again? Is he just a corporate image? Did we lose sight of his message, and did we lose sight of his meaning? And his message and meaning was Larry Payne mattered. Such to the extent that his mom died heartbroken, that nobody, and his dad too, because their story was not told, and they didn't get justice for their baby, but to be disrespected and dehumanized. And I think it a grave apology from the city, the state, the nation. And then to lose sight of that, the terror around the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King just they get lost in that whole phenom.
Is there anything that y'all wanted to add about kind of what you're taking away from today's conversation?
Well, everything that they talked about today that they were going to do, I'm expecting that.
Amen.
I'm expecting
and I am too.
And so,
and what was that from your perception of what happened at the meeting? What can you list out what those are?
Oh well, ma'am, they talked about, they apologized, and said they're going to make some changes of how they go take families different. They're going to do better. But my main focus
you mean like communicating with the family, you mean? Or
yes.
You mean like communicating with the family?
So that's why, man, I got a lot on my mind, and everything that's on my mind, I'm not going to discuss it right now, but I got a lot going on.
Sure.
I got a lot on my mind. So.
I'd like to know what the family could do outside of the museum, because we got to tell our own stories. We got to be stewards of our history. What are the family plans? Like all these great stories out here, what's going to happen for the next generation to find out who was Larry Payne?
Because I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, what's the pro at? What's on the steps?
Because, like I said, when that happened to George Floyd, man, that was so devastating to me. Oh my God, I took it so hard. And I just want, I want our people to know, that anything, stuff like this can happen to anybody. Anything, you know, it can happen to anybody, but it's devastating. It's devastating. So we have to, as people, come together, you know, and not just forget about the people who wasn't doing anything to harm anybody. Just the police stop and you die. That hurts, you know, that hurts. So every time stuff like that comes up on television, I have to deal with that. I have to deal with that. And you know that, you know, that's not good. That's not good because, you know, I'm still dealing with it. But I do want people to know that get those children help. I don't want no child to go through what I went through because I know I done been through it and I don't want nobody else's child to go through this here. They gonna need some help because they love one, they father, you know, that stuff be on your mind. Why did they why did they do this? And it made me hate the police, and I had to learn that I couldn't do that because all of them are not the same, and that's what I had to tell myself. I had to tell myself that. And even when I had the worst attitude when police stopped me, oh my God, I did. But I knew, you know, I didn't hate them no more, but I just had the worst attitude towards them. But you know, I'm better, you know. I'm better, you know, with that part, you know. But I just want them to know, people to know that anything can happen so quick, you know, that it didn't, you know, your loved one can get taken away from you just by driving down the street. And it's sad that we have to be in that type of situation where we got to, you know, look straight. Put your hand on the steering wheel. Right. You scared to say something. Can I move? You know what I'm saying? Can I reach for my papers, for my, you know, registration, you know, and stuff like that? Because you're scared. Because already when they come up on you, they already got their gun drawn, you know. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, it just hurts when, you know, you seeing people of color just getting gunned down, like, you know, and being treated like we are being treated. You know, it's a limitation, and we know that it's a limitation in traveling this world today. You know, even back there in them that time, 1968.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting a lot. And it's like I say, it's not over.
Yeah.
It's not over. So I'm expecting this museum to do exactly what they said they was going to do. And I can't wait until Monday to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What's happening Monday? I'm sorry.
Well, it's Dr. King anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I say, we are,
So is there anything that I didn't ask that you all want to add?
Because like every year around this time, I just have a bad time, you know, a real bad time. You know, even just talking about it, it just, but like I said, I thought it was going to be a little bit different, and I wasn't going to shed no tears, but this been going on for years, so I know, you know, it's going to keep on going because it's just...
Hey everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that jingle review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.